Yo, bros, what's up? I thought this was an interesting video. This is 3 minute. So I don't know. I might show. There's another video that kind of goes along with this, like I guess the original, but we'll see. I do want to let's react to this, and then we'll probably see the other video too. So let's check it out.
I want you to guess why the man you're about to see is crying, okay? And I want you to lock your guess in and see if you get it right.
It's like, fuck. It's all good. It's all good. I don't talk. I don't want to show it. I don't want to show people that I cry, do I?
If your answer
It's a 3 minute video, so I'll probably respond to it while watching. Never trust a person, especially let's say a man that sets up a camera and cries to it. I don't trust men or women that does it, but let alone a man that's like, seriously, you thought that was logical? You thought that was a good idea? Let me set up a camera and cry to the camera. Men know that is fake as shit. So to do that, you are unbelievable. You this is a thing where it's not natural. It's not natural. It really isn't. Because you can sense the fakeness of it. You can sense the fakeness of it. So men like that are ridiculous.
was that he is crying because he and another friend of his, also a man, continuously reached out to a woman on this app who is a content creator and has spoken about her negative experiences with men, and that they pressured her via voice notes to meet up with them so that they could change her mind about men after her negative experiences with them. And when she repeatedly, politely rejected that offer to meet up with two men she doesn't know, who keep sending her voice notes pressuring her to meet up, and then she even was kind enough with one of these interactions to send them links and books and material that they could read to understand why she isn't the only one who has these views of men and these experiences with men. And they kept, even after that point, pressuring her to meet up, even though she'd outright said no.
This is why the whole feminist men, the whole Democrat men are so like I don't understand. Why I personally don't. I think it's idiotic. Why are you trying to change people's minds? How they feel is how they feel. It's so idiotic that you're going. It is the problem where we have a lot of men who don't know how to regulate their emotions, and I think women are the cause of it. Creating these feminist men that it's like I don't know. Creating these feminist men because now these men are turning into women. These men are turning into women, and it's annoying. It really is. It's really annoying. I don't know. It's just, and here's my thing. It's like the, the thing is that we should stop trying to change people. How people live is how we're all adults. Go about your way. Now, I think you know what? You talk your piece, you say your shit, you prove whatever argument you want to prove. If they want to watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. This is a thing where I've said this before. Let's say there's this thing where women constantly say, "Oh, I'm happily single." Okay, fine. I've said this countless times that if you are happily single, I'll be the biggest supporter to tell you that get out of the dating market. Stop. Don't date men. Don't interact with men. Decentered men. I support the 4B movement. Don't interact with men. Don't deal with men. Don't be in a relationship with men. Don't have kids with men. Just stay away from men. I'm a big supporter. No satire. No, I'm not trying to be I don't know a fake about it. No, I 100% support it because this is a thing where why are we trying to change people? I really dislike that stuff. That we want to change people. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I I think we should accept people how they are. Forceful change is never really true change. I think it's more like, you know what, if someone wants to change, then okay, they will do it. It's more natural. It seems more natural. It's more smooth. Okay, of a transition. But people being forced to change, they won't accept it. It'll be fake, and honestly, it won't be stable, or the change won't. It's not really you. It's not permanent. So I think it's stupid.
Not interested. No, thank you. Values don't align. Please go away. When they wouldn't stop and she made a video talking about what they were doing, that's the video he made. So if that was your guess, well done. Couldn't have been my guess. Couldn't have been my guess. And I'm pretty cynical when it comes to men's behavior. This is why you guys are terrifying. One of the myriad of reasons.
Well, that is kind of stupid. This is why you're terrifying, because you want to prove an argument. You want to show up. I mean, I don't know. I assume that they were going on good faith. They want to show that men are not what you believe they are, right? Understandable. And you cry about it. But that is why men are terrifying. I think that's a stupid argument. I think that's a stupid, kind of idiotic take. This is a thing where here's I thought was an interesting comment. Yes, because in my own experience, many women's experience, men are in fact terrifying. Whether you're nice to them or not, you'll never know how they'll take rejection. This is a thing where I think women may have an illogical take because, in all honesty, you wouldn't know how women would take it too. It's like I think it's just really, this is why I create my channel, right? I create my channels because I want to. We constantly have a narrative, a society's point of view of how men are. Okay, cool. It is what it is. But on the flip side, we don't have necessarily, or we have one for women, but it's always women as angelics, as angels, as goddesses, as nurturing, as amazing as women are. There's nothing women do wrong. On the flip side, I've said this countless times before. Women are no better than men. Women are no different than men. Women have maybe the degree, the amount is different, but anything a man has done, most likely women have done it too. Yes, maybe the amounts are different, but that doesn't necessarily change the argument that women have done it too. Women have killed people. Women have done, you know, kind of other kind of violences towards people as well. So what are you trying to say? Oh, men only, no, there's nothing that only men have done that women haven't done also. Not that nothing that comes to mind. Now you could tell me what only men have done that no woman in history has done. I don't know. I mean, you, I off the top of my head, you name it, women have done it as well. So that is the foolishness I see.
Inability to be accountable, to flip it, to make her out to be the bad guy, even though this is just the natural consequence of your unbelievably inappropriate behavior. Your total lack of awareness about how you've landed yourself in this situation and how entitled she was to have to make her boundary as firm as she did publicly because you couldn't respect it privately. How on earth can we have a conversation with you all when this is how you react to the natural consequences of your behavior? When this is how you react to accountability? It just...
Now, I'm not excusing these men for they shouldn't have never even done it. I don't give a shit if women hate men or not. I don't care. Do whatever you want. But so that's why I'm not really on board of these men trying to change this woman's mind. Whatever, right? This is why I usually go about it where I talk to the audience that will agree with me, that wants to hear, that want either agree with me or want to hear my take. I never go out about to try to change other people's point of views. We're all adults, but I think it's funny. She says, to how do you have a conversation with? How are you having a conversation when you don't want to have a conversation? This is the problem where I think women are funny is that you don't want to have a conversation, which is fine, which is fine. But here's the thing: where you can't say that. Oh, how can you have a conversation? I mean, it's like, what did she say? Let me.
she was to have to make her boundary as firm as she did publicly because you couldn't respect it privately. How on earth can we have a conversation with you all when this is how you react?
How can you have a conversation with y'all? You don't even want it. You didn't even want a conversation. She didn't even want a conversation. So really, yes, they should have respected her boundaries, right? Because she didn't want to have a conversation. They shouldn't have a conversation. But on the flip side, you can't say that. How can you have a conversation with y'all? You didn't want a conversation to begin with. Most women don't want a conversation to begin with. Most women, in my opinion, who have ideologies, have talking points, they don't want their talking points to be challenged. Most women don't. Men, we'll take it on. Come on. How many? All day long in my conversation, in my comment sections, I'm talking to people. I debate anyone, or I'll talk, or I'll flesh out my opinions to anyone who don't agree with me or who wants a conversation. I'll talk more in depth. But women, they don't want a conversation. They don't want their thoughts to be challenged. They want their thoughts to be heard, but challenged, no. They don't want it to be challenged. So I think that part was stupid. I do. But this is the problem where I think one side, men are trying to make a dialogue while women are just trying to scream at you.
To the natural consequences of your behavior when this is how you react to accountability. It just perfectly demonstrates why we don't bother with you all in these conversations you want to have. You don't want to have a conversation.
What? She didn't want this. Again, I said it. It's okay if she didn't want a conversation. But you cannot say, oh, we don't want to. You can't say that, oh, this is why we don't want a conversation with you. What? You didn't want a conversation to begin with. Yes, these men were pushy, which didn't need to be. But again, these men wanted a conversation. She didn't. She didn't. So really, you can't say, oh, this is why we don't want to have a conversation with you. Why? Why? Because the men wanted a conversation, you didn't. That doesn't make sense. That shit don't make sense. And like I said, stop with that shit. This is why This is why men has created their own, I don't know, what did I say? Content, their own area of social media, I guess, uh, just to have a conversation, but necessarily not talking to women in particular. Because to be honest, talking to women is, what are you gonna get? It's really, women are irrational. They're emotional. They're hypocrites. They're delusional. So talking to women is pointless in my opinion. There was a point where I thought about, should I have a co-host, a female co-host, just to, some back and forth. But I figured the things I say, conversation will get too emotional, especially on a woman's side. So I don't like the whole conversation where we're arguing back and forth, or we're speaking over top each other, or she's able to get my, my emotions out, and I don't want to show that kind of side of me. And it's like, no, it's not worth it.
You want to be right. And then when we don't give you the opportunity to be right, because you can't be right in this situation, because you can never understand our experiences, because you don't want to, you pull unbelievably bizarre stuff like this.
It's weird. Like, yes, those those men being pushy is, I'll get it. It's bizarre, but women cry every day on this app. Women constantly set up the camera and cry about everything and anything. But it's whatever. To be honest, it's like, I wanted to make this video just to say that, you know what? Stop wanting to change women. Right? They are what they are. Live your life and let women live the consequences of their actions. You want to hate men. You want to not be able to have a dialogue with men. Cool. Cool. In my honest opinion, I've always thought that the men versus women thing has been, was is created by women, because it's the thing where, like this, women want to say whatever shit they want to say, but not have a dialogue, not have a conversation. And that shit is now made it where men are not, in turn, not wanting a dialogue with women, or, you know, or now um creating content like this, where we're just speaking, not together, but just reacting to it. So that's why now we're just versus each other, because we're not really talking to each other. So we're not trying to understand each other. Because here's the thing, I think it's ridiculous that women think, oh, listen, you don't understand. But are you even? Because on the flip side, you're not even having a conversation. Because this is a thing where, let's say the original, she's not even having a conversation with these men. And like I said, these men shouldn't or didn't need to have a conversation with this woman, because if she hates men or don't like men, that's her prerogative. But on the flip side, you can't say, "Oh, you will never understand what women go through." But on the flip, but how? But it's the insanity that, okay, fine, men won't understand, but how would that change when you don't want to talk about it? Talk to understand. You just want to say shit, and that's it. You want to scream men this that, but you don't have a conversation with men, because this is it's insanity that women constantly say conversational skills, or talk about, it's like, but you don't want to talk. You don't want to talk. So no duh, men won't understand it, or they won't really understand it on a deeper level, or your point of view, because you don't want to talk about it. So, I don't know. I just think that it's gonna, shit like that goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. And the problem is that, you know, I I personally think that men do understand it. It's just that men will break it down. Men will dissect it. Men will show you the flaws in what you're thinking, and you can't really back up what you're thinking. So I don't know. What do you guys think?